Well, this truly is the day that the Lord has made, and I am, and you should be, I believe you are, determined to rejoice and be glad in it. It is another day that we have never seen before, and we are thankful to the Lord for his goodness, his mercy, his loving kindness toward us. And like my friend Elder Brett always says, I was glad I was on the wake up list this morning, or the wake up call. I'll let him tell us what he says. But we're glad to be alive, thanking the Lord for life and health and strength, thanking him for his goodness and his mercy. Well, it's a beautiful day here in the Dallas, Texas, and surrounding areas. I'm Evangelist Cheryl Boggs, and for the next couple of yeah, for the next couple of hours, I'm going to be your Bible encourager, and I'm going to bring some friends along. And what I want to tell you, I'm so excited. Listen, there is an independent film that has won awards, and I'm sure will win many more. It's called Dun Dun Da, The Rhythm. And the writer and the director is going to be joining me. His name is Gerald McBride, and he's going to be joining me hour of the Cheryl Boggs show. So you're going to definitely want to stay tuned. And if you have to leave, make sure you come back. And because you need a family film, something that you can watch and enjoy, has great meaning. And you can also watch it on Hulu, Amazon, Apple TV, all of that. So The Rhythm. And I'm excited. It's a great movie, and you're going to definitely want to uh, watch it. All right. And let's see what else we got. Did I already tell you it's a beautiful day here in the Dallas, Texas, and surrounding areas? And the SUN has decided to shine. And I was talking to some friends in New York, and they were like, they were expecting triple digits. And I'm like, that's a lot for them. I think we're still like in the 90s, upper 90s or whatever, but that's normal for us. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. Did I already tell you that the Lord is good? Yes, I did, and he is faithful. So thank you so much for joining. Listen, do like my intro says, call, text, email a friend. I want to add share. You're listening to the Cheryl Boggs Show, Resting in His Word, heard here live every Monday, starting at 5 Central, right here on Fishbowl Studios, as well as Cheryl Boggs media pages, as well as churchtalkmedia.net. All right, don't go anywhere, because after this short break, I will be right back with the writer and director of the movie, The Rhythm.
Sweet girl with a lot of friends, smiles big but it's all pretend. If only they could see inside all the pain right behind her eyes. Dad left and mom doesn't know. A little angel still trying to cope. Lost faith in what the future holds, yet there still is hope. You gotta get up. You've been knocked down, but the fight's not over yet. You gotta get up. Don't be burdened by thoughts of regret. You gotta get up. I know you're tired, come too far to give up now. You gotta get up. You gotta get up. Congregation stood on their feet, celebrating the message preached, not knowing all the tears he cried, while fighting thoughts of suicide, depression, anxiety, facing battles we cannot see, feeling defeated. He can't believe that he can still be free. Yes, you can still be free. You gotta get up. You've been knocked down, but the fight's not over yet. You gotta get up. Don't be burdened
Yes, God will see you through it no matter what it is, no matter the situation, no matter the circumstance, no matter the glitch, no matter what's going on. The Lord will see you through it. That was Get Up. That you can go and watch that video on YouTube, Get Up by Cheryl Boggs. And you can also download it wherever it is that you get your music. Well, I am excited to have my guest here today. His name is Gerald. I like Gerald McBride. So let's just bring him on. Hello, Gerald.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me okay? I just want to make
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, okay, good.
yeah. I had some lawn people out there earlier, and so I
Okay.
hear a little. I don't know if it's what that is,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Yeah, that's
welcome.
one of the nice things that working from home, right? You get all the
Yes.
sound effects from outside.
The
And this is
joy
my
of it.
home. This is my home studio. I work from home as well. So I understand.
Great. I want you to say hi to somebody that you may know. Let me
Okay.
see. Do
Oh,
you
there
know
he
this
is.
gentleman?
Hey, Brett, what's up, man? How you
Yeah, man.
doing?
Fantastic. How you doing today? You all right?
Yeah, man, doing good. So good to see him. He's got the Detroit shirt on. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
My Lions flag hanging in the back there.
Yeah, got the lions in the back. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, for real, yeah.
Oh,
But
so
it's
you
all
guys
good.
have been friends, huh? For over 30 years, I
But
hear.
Yes.
yeah, almost right around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How long you been in Texas now?
26 years.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I
before I
remember
moved to
when you
Texas,
moved. Man, time sure does fly. My
yeah,
goodness.
it does. I'm telling you, it
Yeah.
really has been, man. But man, for what you've been doing, man, God, when I saw it, because when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, okay, but I ain't into hockey, but okay, Gerald said, so I'm okay, cool. And then and then when it popped up and it said a film by Gerald McBride, I said, well, anytime that said, that means that person was a director. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
And
Yeah.
I,
Not just director.
He's
Yeah, I wore all the hats,
wrote it.
man.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, director, producer, writer, executive producer. I did wardrobe, I did catering, I did transportation. So this was, one of those independent films where I had to wear many hats. Yes,
Well, if I'm reading it right, you
Mhm.
won an award at what?
At
The
the
LA.
LA Film Festival. Yes, at the LA Film Festival, which was really a pleasant surprise. I had submitted to a few film festivals and got turned down quite a bit. So when that came up, I was like, wow, God really knows how to surprise you.
Yeah.
man.
So, and just the timing of that was just so perfect when I had been doing all this grassroots promotion and, just needing, different things to help me promote it. That comes up like right on time. So, yeah, I'm just excited what the Lord is doing with this movie and
Amen. Britt, do
and
you
my
want to go
testimony.
ahead and, or do
Well,
you want to stay, or you got something else you want to say?
no, yeah, I mean, because but Gerald, tell him about how it all started.
Well, this all started about 17 years ago when I went to a hockey game. One of my clients came into town and he asked if I could take him to see his son play against University of Michigan. His son was playing for UMass at the time. So we get to University of Michigan and it's sold out. It's a sold out arena and 10,000 seats. And I look around and I'm the only African American in the arena. I'm like, wow, where are all the black people in this sport? And that was my first time ever attending a hockey game like that. So this was just something new to me. But yeah, I was really, really surprised that there weren't any black people, of course, playing on the team and in the arena as well. And just kind of aroused my curiosity about black people in hockey. And I really think the Lord just really put it on my heart right there to tell a story And you know how you get these ideas, especially when the Lord gives you an idea, man. It's just like, man, I got to write this down. And I kept writing and writing. I was just kind of writing this on notepads, and just knowing exactly what was going to happen in this story about this young black hockey player, and just the um, obstacles and things that he ran into and playing the game. You just, this story was just so clear to me, and I kept writing on notepads, and I was like, okay, now wait a minute, I need to switch to the right type of software, and I end up switching to Final Draft, and I started writing, and I took some classes, and just trying to figure this whole thing out, and just kept. And this would go on for years, and when I finally got it to where I thought it was good enough, I submitted to some friends in Hollywood and asked what they thought of it. And they were like, okay, it's okay, but you need to go back and write some more. So I took it back and wrote some more and more, and then they finally, I finally got it to a point where they thought I had something that was worth pitching. And there was, some talk about putting some millions into making this movie with some notable stars and actors, and then COVID hit, and I lost contact with them. And then I had a couple other people who were interested in it, and they were talking about putting, millions into making this movie. And I got a little discouraged. I mean, I think we all did during COVID, kind of wondering like, what are we doing here? What's next, and what's going to happen after this? But boy, you're talking about a time where God had the opportunity to really work with some of us, and especially me, and just trusting Him more and more and more. And I continue to just continue to write. On and continue to work on the script, just believing that once COVID ended, that something would happen with it.
So when did you discover that there was an actual black hockey team?
Well, I actually created a black hockey team, so yeah.
No, but isn't there one in history though?
No, there is. As I was writing this, as a matter of fact, when I first started writing it, there was a documentary out about an African American hockey team and how the game started in Nova Scotia by an all black hockey team in 1865. So I kind of incorporated that, and that's a true story. So I kind of incorporated that in my story. So the young man who plays hockey, he's kind of like one of the players on that team was his great grandfather in my fictional story. Yes.
Right.
So yeah, that is true. So I kind of just incorporated this historic part about the black hockey team in Nova Scotia, the first black colored, as they called them, hockey team in Nova Scotia. Yes.
And the fact that Nova Scotia, that we didn't know we was even in Nova Scotia.
Exactly. But there's a lot of black people in Canada.
Right.
When they ran from the South, they just kept going. It's true. I mean, it's true. But yeah, so after COVID, it's just trying to figure out what to do with the film. With the script, and kept pushing it to Hollywood and pushing it for somebody to make it. And I'll never forget, in the beginning of 2022, I'm in church, and the pastor said something about it's time to move on your dreams. And I thought, that's it. And the Lord is speaking to me right here. I need to move on this, but I don't know what I'm doing. But how many times God called you something to do something that you didn't know what you were doing? It's just, you just have to trust Him that He's going to show you and lead you in what to do. And so I stepped out on faith. I didn't have any money. I did not have millions of dollars to make this movie. I had no idea how I was going to make it. I started auditioning my cast. I started auditioning or hiring a crew to shoot the movie. We started pre-production. I had a producer that was helping me. We were setting up all the locations, and this is the beginning of 2022. 2 weeks, or probably a month, I should say, after I started working on these things, a guy walks up to me at church, and he says, "Gerald, I hear that you are doing a movie." He says, "I have all the camera equipment that you need." And He says, "Don't worry about paying me, man. Whatever you need, I got it." These were not just any cameras. These were called red cameras, which is an industry standard in making movies. So that's why the movie looks the way it does. Is because I had some of the best cameras and lighting and I mean not just any cameras. I mean these are red cameras with all the lens, all the tripods, everything I needed. When I showed up to the set with all of this stuff, the guys were like, "Wow, where did you get this from?" I mean, just everything that I needed was right there. So I had the equipment, but I still didn't have the money. I got my cast, I got my crew, I got everything I needed. My wife and I started putting together investment packages. So we started reaching out to people that we knew, who might want to, I should say, invest in the movie. But I did not have a piece about that. I just I was like,
Okay.
I can't take people's money like that and risk it, and not knowing when I'm going to pay them back or how much I can pay them back, or, it just didn't feel comfortable taking people's money on this risk that I was taking but I got all these things in place. And it's like, okay, these people were expecting me to do this movie. I've already hired a cast and crew, and we're all set to shoot on May 23rd, and April is rolling around, and I'm saying I can't take this money from people, and we're still moving towards our date on May 23rd. And a week before we got ready to shoot, I get an email from the SBA saying, "Okay, we know that you got $20,000 as from a loan in during COVID. Would you like an extension? And you can get as much as you want." I was like, "What?" So we figured we could do the movie so we went from millions to making the movie for $150,000. Like, okay, we could make just an independent low budget film for $150. $150,000, I should say. And so I applied for the loan and I got approved for $180,000, and that's what we made the movie with.
You
Yeah.
know what I really like is that you stepped out on faith
Yes.
and you didn't, sometimes when God closes a door
Yeah.
and then if people had really invested in it,
Yes.
then they could be taking credit for what God actually did.
Absolutely.
So at this
Absolutely.
point, all we got is thanking God.
That's all we got.
That's
Right.
all we got.
That's it.
And the fact that the guy walked up to you with the cameras and I
It-
mean, I
it's
mean, that's God.
It was such confirmation, especially when you're not sure. I think you do need some markers along the way. Like, okay, I'm headed in the right direction. I mean, for God to show up and say, okay, here's the cameras. Here's the money, um, and yeah, I mean, that helped a whole lot. And then, um, getting just so many favors from the city of Detroit and getting
Okay.
locations for free and just so many things like, hey, I got some assistance for you. I mean, just the Lord saying, hey, I brought some people to help you get this thing done. And that's not including just spending a lot of time in prayer about, Lord, what is it that you want me to say in this movie? And I was really kind of surprised. And sure, I'm not sure if you saw the movie or not, but
I did.
okay, well, some of the things that the Lord gave me, I mean, that I know and that I got from prayer. You would think that it would be a lot of scriptures and Bible and deep things about but it was just a lot of simple things in the movie and a lot of different simple messages without beating people over the head with scriptures and Bibles and church and these kind of things. But that all came from the Lord. I mean, it really did, just the different stories.
I appreciated that
Yeah.
because just being able to hear, number one, black people don't play. Oh, you keep saying African American. Maybe I should say African
No, that's
American.
okay. No, but black people don't play hockey. We say that in the movie. Black people don't play hockey. Hockey is too cold in here. Right. That's one of the lines in the movie. So, No, it's okay to say that. But yeah, go ahead.
And then also, you know, is there any money in that? Is there, I mean, I thought you did excellent with um, the struggle of the inner city, or at this point, I guess any
Right,
city,
right,
where it's easier to try to get, selling drugs looks like an easier road,
right.
but it does not lead anywhere. And we've lived long enough to see, that it's a quick buck today, but you know,
Yeah,
the end is death or prison.
yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, so I
Well,
thought you did really good with that.
well, thank you. These were just realistic things that are happening. When you think about it, these are things that are happening in the inner city with kids, and
Yeah.
and then to be able to tie hockey into that was just really really something. But yeah, the movie ended up being more than just about hockey. I mean, it's just so many lessons in the
Oh,
film about um, fatherless kids in the African
yeah.
American community, teen pregnancy, and the biggest message in the movie is forgiveness. It's
Yes.
about forgiveness, so
Yes.
I don't wanna give it all away if just in case somebody's watching. I want you to just see it so you can just see just a different perspective of forgiveness, in this film. Yes.
And I mean, listen, you guys go and watch the movie. Hey, Mike Robot. Um, so you have people listening from Ohio. This is just, I mean, we're international, but
Yeah,
just the people on Facebook.
yeah.
And then they tickle me because they walk up to me. I was listening to your show, and I'm like, it'd be nice if you would make a comment, or
Right, right, right.
but
Yeah,
so we've got
yeah.
West Virginia, we've got New York, and I believe Mike, are you still in Ohio? You might be in Ohio.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, the subtle messages
yeah,
I thought was really, really,
yeah,
really powerful.
yeah.
Um, and of course, we're going to continue to talk. But those of you, it's called The Rhythm, and you can see it. I watched it actually on Hulu,
Yeah.
and it's on Amazon.
Amazon Prime, Apple TV. It's on Fandango Home. It's also on YouTube Movies, and it's on Tubi as well. So you got uh, a few different platforms you can watch it on. Hoopla, also. Yeah, I mean that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
It's the little movie that could.
The little movie that could. And, I've changed the name of my production company to Two Fish and a Biscuit because that's, yes, that's exactly
But
that's
I
exactly what
love,
I made it with. And but to be able to make a movie like this, after it was all said and done, under 300,000, when I was looking at $7-8 million to make it, is truly a miracle. To have 150 people. There's 150 people or more in this film. Everybody got paid. Nobody did anything for free. Everybody, if you were in the movie, you got paid a talent fee. And yeah, so um, yeah, for it to be made under $300,000 is a miracle in itself. If anybody out there really understands what it takes to make movies, yes. So no, God's hand was truly on it, and it was just a 17-year of a learning process for me, and just trusting God all the way in all the steps that I needed to take, and getting me ready for what I'm doing. This is a ministry for me. I mean, I just believe I have people's undivided attention for 1 hour and 38 minutes. So, what is inside of me, I get the opportunity to pour into you. And that's what movies do when you really think about it. I mean, think about it. Some of the stuff that you're seeing in movies that's not necessarily this is a Christian or inspirational story. I mean, it's somebody's life, it's somebody's ideas, it's something that's on their heart. If it's a horror movie, they're taking what they have inside of them and pouring it into you for an hour or two. Yes.
and we
So that's something
definitely
to think about.
need more movies like what
Yes.
God gave you
Yes.
with the rhythm. And this is going to sound off script, but it is true. I'm the type person, if I'm going to sit down for an hour or 2 hours, there better be something in there that I can use in my everyday life, or there's got to be a message. So I was at this one movie, I ain't gonna tell you which one.
Yeah.
Um, and you've been around me, we're having this conversation, so you kind of know my personality. So I'm in the movie theater
Hmm.
and I screamed and I said, I want my 16, I think it was 16 or $17.
Hmm.
I want my $16 back.
Yeah.
I said, because y'all just wasted an hour and some cent.
Yeah.
And they, in the end, they just not making a part two. It was called acrimony or something like
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I would have took that 25 million and you'd have never heard from me again.
Right.
I was
Right.
not gonna
Right.
lose my mind. So the point for that is I love what you were saying.
Yes.
They have your undivided attention for the whole hour and
Yeah. My movie is an hour and 38 minutes, so I had everybody's attention for an hour and hour and a half. Yeah.
and there were so many nuggets,
Yes.
in there. And and you all, we are really not scratching the surface. It is deep. It is a deep movie. It is a inspiring movie. Uh, Talks about forgiveness. Talks about understanding. It talks about um, pregnancy. I told you I watched it.
Yeah.
Talks
Yeah.
about
Yeah. You did watch
drugs and
it. Yeah. Yeah.
talks
And
about the
yes,
decisions that young people,
that's right.
have to make.
Yes,
Um,
that's right.
I told you I watched it. My
No,
cash
that
app
is
is
so
dollar
good. That is
sign.
so good. Yeah, you getting out. Those are all the nuggets. I mean, and probably the biggest message in the movie, I think, and you just mentioned, is about the choices that we make in life.
Yeah.
How important these choices are. And that's why really, I mean, we understand that as adults, but sometimes we need to hear it again too. But young people need to understand these decisions that they make and the choices that they make. And when you make a decision or choice that you make out of anger could cost you something, you know.
And how you have to get rid of that anger
Absolutely.
that's on the inside. And the grandmama kept trying to tell him, you're gonna have to trust God. But
Yes.
we got to get rid of the anger,
Right.
because people, 1 minute they just skip to Maluin for the
Yeah.
sake of lack of a better word at this point.
Right. Right.
And then all of a sudden they just go off. And you're like, well, what happened? Well, it's
Yeah.
because of those unresolved issues.
Mhm.
Now, the young man had a right to be angry, but he did
Absolutely.
not have the right to stay
Stay angry.
angry.
Absolutely. That is such a good point. That is such a good point. Yes. One of the things that happened in the movie, and I don't want to give too much of it away because I want people to watch it, but I'm gonna give you this scene because I got to share this with you, Cheryl, because this was truly um a move of God in the film. So as the young lady gets pregnant in the film, now, she's playing a 16-year-old girl, but in real life, she's 22 years old. But she looks, and you can tell in the film, she looks very young. She looks 16, which is the part that she's playing. Um, I shot that part. She goes to the abortion clinic to get the abortion. And I was actually just going to leave that right there. I was not trying to make any political statement or anything. It's just what happens in life. A mom says, hey, look, you know, we already have too many kids in this house. Your sister's kids, I'm taking care of them. And now you get pregnant. You know what you got to do. So she goes and she gets the abortion. And I was just going to leave it just like that. So after I shot that scene, I continued to shoot other scenes. And it was probably about 2 or 3 months as I'm continuing to shoot scenes of that movie. I was done with her. She was pretty much done with all of her scenes. She calls me. She says, Gerald, you'll never believe this. In real life, I'm pregnant. I was like, wow. I says, you know what? let's just wait another month when you're showing, and I'm going to shoot another scene with you. So when you see her in the movie actually pregnant, that's not a pillow. She's really pregnant. She's really pregnant. I could, Cheryl, I couldn't have planned that. There's no way I could have planned that. The audience was just so happy that she decided not to get the abortion and to have the baby. So
But
I could.
but I love also the message that says we need to be more responsible,
Oh,
because you
absolutely.
see this whole house full of kids.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
and Gerald, I am a believer that when you are exposed to something different,
Yes.
then you do something different. And I we teach a life skills class
Yeah.
in a prison, and I just kept using Maya Angelou's thing,
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, when you know better, you do better.
You do better. Yeah, right.
That was I don't know, every class we do I have some type of, and that was for this particular class. And
That's so good.
yeah,
Yes.
so when
Yeah.
I was looking at that, I was like, if we can get people out of that environment that says my mother was on welfare, she got a whole bunch of kids by a whole bunch of different men, I guess I'm going to have be on welfare, I guess I'm going to have babies by, but if you can get them to see another side of life that says, yes, you can actually graduate from high school, yes, you can actually get a good job, you don't it's all about exposure. When we can expose through your movie, I
Absolutely.
just believe that there's an alternative. There's an alternative to doing, just selling drugs, um,
Hmm.
and keeping that what. And also, listen, I'm talking. But what I love about it too was, let's take the cap or the ceiling off of what we can as African Americans, as Black
Mm,
people, what we can and cannot do.
that is so
You can
true.
ice skate if you want to.
Absolutely.
You can play hockey if you want to,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and make
Absolutely.
money at it.
Absolutely. That is so true. That is a good point. And we definitely wanted to make that the point. And another point we wanted to make in the movie, which is very crucial, is you see a lot of people wearing a cross as this, they got them hanging on their uh mirrors in their cars. You see people wearing them as a nice piece of jewelry, but do they really understand what it represents? And I know the Lord kind of gave me that. Tell people what this cross really means, because a lot of people are out here wearing a cross just because some of them think it's a good luck charm.
Right.
So just some people just wearing it because it's just a nice piece of jewelry. But do you really know what it represents? I think that's just so very important to get that point across. And I hope people get that when they watch the movie.
It
Yeah.
was subtle.
Yeah.
It was subtle. But yeah, the
Yeah,
point.
it was it subtle to you? I thought it was pretty big. I thought it was
No, I
just like
mean,
just like you thought it was subtle. Okay, well good.
no, I thought when it was hanging on the mirror, I
Yeah.
thought that was subtle. When grandma put it in his hand, yeah, we was like, okay.
Yeah, right, right. Grandma puts it in her hand. I think you need to wear this. And he's like, for what? For good luck? And then she explained what it means. So I can't do any better than that.
No, no. I thought, and it's something, like I
Yeah,
said, for me to have sat down and watched it, and to got and just got so many little nuggets,
right,
out of it.
right.
Um, I appreciated that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, without giving the ending away, I thought that was the cutest.
Wow.
Am I better than you? Am I gonna be
Right,
you
right,
know? But it was.
right.
I mean, I actually, for it to, um not be a, what's the word? You did not push it as, I don't think, as a Christian
movie,
movie.
but it's just enough. It's just enough to qualify it as a faith-based movie. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
have used that platform to promote the movie as well. Yes, it's about faith, but um, and one of the scriptures in the movie, if there is actually only one, which is Mark 5:36. Don't be afraid, just believe, as his grandmother tells him. I mean, if people could just hold on to just that little piece of scripture, because Cheryl, here's the thing. Here I am writing about that, and I'm living that out as well because I was afraid. I was afraid to step out on faith and do this movie, to be quite honest with you. I was like, I can't direct. I can't. I had to say, wait a minute. I got to stop saying that because God really believes that I can get out here and I can do all of this and I can make it happen, even though there was just so many things that I didn't understand. But man, it all worked out. When I got out there on the ice and got ready to direct, it was like I had been doing it all my life. Now I do voiceovers, so which is voice
No.
acting. Yeah, yeah, right. So in doing voiceovers, I had to just teach a lot of people about reading and not sound like you're reading. I mean, you gotta when you do a script, when you read a commercial, a radio commercial, and you do voiceovers, you got to make it sound natural, like it's just coming off the top of your head, not like you're writing it, like I mean, like you're reading it
Right.
off a script. So it's the same philosophy. Here's my lines, but I need you to say it like you really mean it, So, and then I'm working with some actors who all understood that, So, but here's the other thing: the kids that you see in the movie had never done any acting before. There was no way I was going to be able to find um, black kids who can act and skate. I mean, I went to a talent agency. I said, well, do you have any black kids that know how to play hockey and skate? They're like, are you kidding? No, we don't. No, there's no such thing. So I actually went to the hockey team. I went to a hockey team called Detroit Ice Dreams. And I says, well, look, I got a couple of parts that I need to fill in this movie. What kids do you think might make great actors or good actors? And they pointed out the kids that you see in this movie, and they did an amazing job. It's hard to tell that they have never done any acting before, so that made a lot easier because I didn't have to find doubles. I mean, these kids, when I needed them to skate and stop and do their lines, they were able to do it because they were skaters. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
another fun fact about the film.
and I really like when you said earlier that you were the director, the
Right,
writer.
right,
I mean, you did wardrobe,
right.
you
Mhm.
wore all of these different hats, and I know that had to have been tiring but rewarding,
Absolutely.
because at the end you're like, okay, God, I'm gonna stop saying what I can't do. I'm gonna say I can do all things through
That's
through
right.
you, God,
That's
and
right.
you showed me how to do it, and that just adding a little bit more light on what I said earlier about uh, when we have nothing, nobody to thank but God. And I think he
Yes,
does that
yes,
because he's like, no, I'm gonna put it in you. So everything you need, it's already in you. I'm gonna
yes,
pull it out of you.
yes.
And then at the end of the day, you thank the one that
That's
gave
it.
it to you.
I have to give him all the glory.
All
Absolutely.
the
Here's
glory.
the other thing about that, though, Cheryl, that I believe is that so I know God is preparing me to continue to do this, to do more movies. But now I understand every position because I had to do that position. So when I get ready to hire somebody, I know what it means when I need a line producer because I had to do that myself. What it means to be a producer, I understand that fully because I had to do that myself. You know, crew, camera people. I mean, I did a little bit of everything. Sound. I know exactly next time what I need and what I expect out of that person in that position because I had to do all of these different jobs in order to make this movie. So no, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was a little tough. It was a little crazy, here and there, trying to do all of these things. But now I understand that I'm being prepared. I was being prepared, and hopefully I'm going to be a lot better and ready when I get ready to do the next one. So,
Well, I'm Evangelist Cheryl Boggs. You're listening to the Cheryl Boggs Show, and my guest today is Gerald McBride, and he is the writer and the director. I'm auditioning for some voiceover work.
okay, all right, sure, okay,
Uh, he is the writer and the director of the movie The Rhythm. And I'm telling you, you all, you can actually sit down with your family
yes,
and watch this movie. It is faith based, but it's not like they're preaching at you, but you will get the nuggets of forgiveness and what unforgiveness does, and how you have to listen to somebody. Yeah, I'm gonna give you my cash app because I'm definitely what they call a movie critic. I am critiquing, what they call that.
right, right. The movie critic. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am giving high praises. And
Thank
anybody
you.
halfway know me know that I don't. I'm the type person. I watch Columbo. I watch Matlock. I watch because it's
Yeah,
those little things
yeah.
that that gets the convictions, and they find that little
Mhm.
thing. That's me. I love that kind
That's
of stuff.
awesome. That's awesome.
So when I say that this is a movie that you all need to go and watch, um, and I loved it watching them on the ice. I was like, okay, so I tried to ice skate once. Yeah, I can roller skate, but ice skate is something we as a culture really. I think we would enjoy it a little bit more
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
we were
Absolutely.
exposed,
Yeah. Yeah.
to it. And this movie just opens up a whole new. Um, I loved learning about Nova Scotia and the black um, hockey
Hmm.
team, and
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
I think you did an excellent job. I
Thank you
rated
so much.
very high, and I pray that you do more
Thank you.
movies.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's the plan. That is the plan. So
Wait a minute, let me see. Me audition. I really, isn't that how they do it?
yeah, right, right,
Uh, what did they do? Uh, Wait, coming to America, when the one lady, she was like, I want to star in my own video. I want to
right.
do my own video. My sister used to tell me all the time, she was like, you remember the smallest things
I know. I
in
remember that. I
movies.
know exactly what you were talking about. I think every black person knows exactly what you were saying because we've all seen Coming to America, at least 200 times. So,
Right. and, and so every time I say that, I was like, yeah, I want to star in my own video. I want
right.
to do my own.
Right, we know exactly what scene you're talking about, Cheryl. You kidding? That did not go over my head.
So tell us again where, I know it's everywhere, but I just
Yeah,
love rattle off for people
yeah,
where they can go and watch The Rhythm right
yeah.
now.
You can see it right now on Amazon Prime. You can also go to Apple TV. You can see it on Tubi. You can see it on YouTube Movies. It's also on Fandango Home. You can go to Roku. If you have Roku, you can watch it there. And yeah, it's probably a
Hulu.
couple. And you said Hulu. It may be on Hulu.
It
That's
is. I swear,
okay.
because I was searching and I was like, okay, well,
Awesome,
here it is. It's on
awesome,
Hulu.
awesome, awesome. That's great. So no, it's several different platforms. If you just type in the rhythm, just the rhythm. That's it.
Rhythm,
The
rhythm.
rhythm.
Oh, and
Rhythm.
get this on Cool Runnings,
Yeah,
that movie.
yeah.
He said, feel the rhythm. Feel the run. Oh,
Oh, wow, wow,
and you
wow,
didn't even
wow.
think of that.
I don't, I haven't seen Cool Runnings. I didn't even know they used that, but yeah, the rhythm.
They did it. So like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't telling the story. My whole personality. If I'm gonna sit down and watch something, I want to get something that I can use in my everyday life, or I can,
yes,
remember and make me a better person, or
absolutely,
and
absolutely,
the story, that just made me. We said, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme,
right.
and it is bobsledding,
Yeah, wow,
the
wow.
Jamaican bobsled
Bob Letters.
team.
Yeah, that's right. And Cool Runnings. I remember that. But yeah, when you and the other, I think the important point we make in the movie is that everything in life has a rhythm, and we got to get into rhythm of things. I mean, you got to have a rhythm. You got to have a rhythm, and
Yeah.
then the other point, I think that black people have this special rhythm, and I'm not going to tell anymore because I want to just kind of
I want you all to go and watch.
hang on to that right there. Is when you watch the movie and you understand what I'm saying. Yeah,
Exactly. Watch this movie. Sit down with your
yeah,
young children,
especially teenagers.
your teenagers, because the message, they will get the messages,
Absolutely.
because it's not beating them over the head, but they are, what's the word say, obvious. What did you say? What word did you use? I said subtle, but you were like, no,
No,
I
no,
want
subtle. No, well, yeah, there's some things that are subtle, but I think the cross, man, no, it's all in your face.
in your face.
Yeah.
And there and what I mean, see, I'm talking, but I'm not giving the movie away.
No,
I'm
no.
just giving them, just enough to say. But I really want you all, those of you that have teenagers, young children, it will open their eyes to the possibilities. I
Yes,
think we as a culture, are, if we could be too sheltered when it comes to what we can do. We
yeah,
can actually do more than basketball. We can do more than football.
absolutely.
There's um I don't know about you, but I never even watched golf until Tiger Woods was
Well, just think
playing.
about there's a good example. I mean, golf. I mean, just all of these sports were dominated by another race, and but once black people picked it up and discovered it, they became great at each one of them. Tennis,
Yes, never watched
tennis,
tennis
yeah.
until
And
Venus
you're
and
starting to see more African Americans swimming now. I mean,
yeah,
a long time, a lot of us were afraid of water. So,
you know,
swimming,
I
swimming
still
was
got
one
friends
of our
don't go in water.
strong points, but no, you're starting to see African Americans in a lot of different sports. Right now, there's 26 black players in the NHL out of 400. So
Well, at least there's some. We're
there's
on our way, and I think this will whet the appetite.
of some kid.
And everything is about a decision. You have to
Absolutely.
live past someone saying, "Okay, black people we don't do that."
Right.
If that's in your heart to do, and here's my word of the day. I always do an word,
Right.
an encouraging inspiration. Doing the program, I'm just going to do it while you're here. Um, just because nobody else has done a thing, and just because your quote unquote little friends tell you, we don't, black people don't skate, black people don't golf, black people, we want you to be strong enough in the belief in what God has placed inside of you. And if that desire is inside of you, don't let someone else telling you what black people don't do, what white people don't do, what this, that, and the other. Um, be different. Don't be afraid to be different and excel in skating. Excel in. I mean, we'd love to see more figure skaters, more black figure skaters. We'd love to see more black tennis players, more black men tennis players. we do not want us as a culture to be limited. And
Got
I'll
it.
tell you a fun fact, and then I'll let you take us on out. When I was younger, I know I'm still young now. When I was younger, when I was in school, when I first got it, like, I got into drugs and different stuff very early, but I could really kind of thank God there was no future,
Hmm.
in that. Um, and I take no credit. That was just the Lord helping the sister
Yeah.
out. But then I started playing volleyball. I ran track. I played basketball, and I was in the band. And then I was the flag carrier, and then I
Mm.
was this, that, and the other. And then I was in concert band, and then, I mean, I'm doing all of this stuff that they say that we don't do.
Yes.
And I had to live past, oh, she just trying to be, she trying to be white. She doing stuff, this, that, and the other. But I said all that just to encourage those of you that are listening. Encourage your teenagers, whatever dreams that they have, just because nobody else in your family, no, nobody else in my family in the concert band. I'm dressed in and playing some, uh, what did I play? I played the clarinet.
Mm.
I wasn't that good at it. That's why I started being a flag carrier. But I was still in the band and I was still traveling and still doing. But the point of the matter is, if there's something inside of you that you want to do, just like Gerald. Gerald was like, I have this script, it's on the inside of me, and I have to walk by faith and put it out. So,
That's right.
Gerald, you can speak to that a little bit more in the time that we have left.
Yes. Oh, and I have to say this. I was just on a podcast not too long ago, and I've done a lot of interviews, but this was the first time an interview just kind of put what I'm doing in a whole different perspective. And what it said, it was entitled, "It's never too late to pursue your dreams." So I know we've been talking about kids, but we also have to. I just want to share this with those who are my age or maybe a little younger. I mean, I started working on this when I was 50, when God would give me the idea. It would be 17. I'm 67 now, and I'm just now releasing this movie. And I just want to encourage those who may be a little older and thinking that they can never pursue their dreams because it's too late. It is not too late. God can take your dream and make it happen. I say, get it off the shelf, blow the dust off that dream, off of that book, off of that movie, off of that, whatever it is. I know whatever it is, there's so many people with so many dreams that actually, um, they say a lot of these, I can't remember the exact quote, but a lot of these dreams end up in the graveyard, never had the opportunity to flourish or to get done. But do your best to get that dream done. I mean, to get it done. It's never too late. It's never too late. It's never too late with God. And in this podcast, it talked about Julia Childs, who was one of the biggest cooking gurus that didn't start until she was 52 years old. Colonel Sanders did not start Kentucky Fried Chicken until he was 65 years old. Can you believe that?
Wow.
It is never too late. It is never too late. Whatever you've been believing for, I just hope that you hear me, that this is a message from God saying, hey, you need to go for it. Give it a shot. It's never too late.
I love
And
it.
the last thing that I want to say is stand on that scripture that I used in this movie, and which I also had to stand on. Don't be afraid. Just believe.
Well, doesn't get any better than that. So thank you so much, Gerald
Oh, you're
McBride,
welcome.
for
Thank you for
being
having
on
me.
the Cheryl Boggs show today. And we just look forward to many more movies and the much, much, much success
Hey,
to
same to you, Cheryl. Same to you. Keep up the great work. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yes.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
All right. Well, I'm Evangelist Cheryl Boggs. You've been listening to the Cheryl Boggs Show, resting in His Word, heard here live every Monday, starting at 5 Central, right here on Fishbowl Studio. All right, Dwight. Amen. Kingdom work. That's it. All right. Thank you. Well, hope that you will join me again next week. Same time, same station, right here on Fishbowl Studios. God bless.
Let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner!
Go.
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. Yeah! Oh, I thought you were on my team.
Hello, friends. Andy C. Luter here, head of Church Talk TV and Church Talk Radio. Listen, I want to invite you to become a part of our broadcasting and cablecasting and streaming lineup. We have a state-of-the-art facility that you can come into, or you can produce your program remotely. The choice is up to you. So I want you to take a look at the number that is on the screen and contact us here and make arrangements to be a part of our rapidly growing family. For the last several years, we have been doing quality Christian programming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But we're not complete until you are a part of us. Come on, use that number and let us be a blessing to you.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Boggs, and on behalf of Church Talk Media, formerly known as Church Talk Radio and Church Talk TV, you can now reach us at churchtalkmedia.net. Again, you can reach us now at churchtalkmedia.net.